are you? I trust you're well and fine. I'm fine too. And today I'm very excited because I've been able to buy something that I've desired for so long. And how did I manage to do that? It's all thanks to savings. So while I was at it just crossed my mind. What if I share with my viewers something on savings? Yeah, so get excited. You're gonna learn a lot, and I believe that you will change and transform your life. Okay, so the topic today is savings. And remember, as I told you, I will always be giving you real life examples. Things I've tried and they have worked. Yeah, so maybe you're saying, Gladys, no, savings, no, not at this time. No, this is the right time to actually save. This is the right time to learn about this topic. So, my journey with savings started way back when I was still in high school. You remember we used to be given some pocket money when you're going back to school. Those years I was given 500 for the whole term. Luckily, we didn't have a canteen in our school, so the money would mostly be for trips, which I was participating in so many, be it music, drama, or any activity. So, there's something I always loved, being driven in a taxi. Okay, there would be vans that would take us from our school to the nearest town. But now from that town to go to my home, I had to think of how I'll go because the walking distance was long. So I devised a plan. Those times the people remember using a taxi was not so easy. So I devised a plan. Out of the pocket money I was given, I would make sure I saved 200. And this 200, it was supposed to be my taxi money. So that's how I learned first the discipline on savings. So during closing day, when people are maybe walking home or using those matatus that look like face me, I'll just hop in a taxi. Yeah, I remember my bro and one of my aunties making fun saying, Gladys is very rich. She's in school and she comes home in taxis. But it's all about savings. So I would spend 300, save 200. So that is one way I learned about savings. But with time, as I've grown, as I've started to work, I also embraced that topic on saving. And I would keep, out of every earning I earn, I would make sure that I keep a certain amount. So another thing that I desired so much was to drive a car. I think it has ever been my goal since I was young. And being brought in a setup where you have to use matatus and the buses, you'll have that desire. So I was wondering, how do I save to buy a car? Yeah, here in Kenya, when you're getting jobs from campus, if you're lucky, you can get well-paying jobs. But most of us, you start with money as low as 10,000 per month. But I didn't give up. I still saved. Maybe I could save 1,000. But okay, I was paid some little money, over 40,000. So now I saved consistently. And I knew I wouldn't be able to buy a huge car. So I went to, that time it was OLX. I think right now they call it Gigi. So on OLX, I checked the cars that were ranging between 200,000 to 300,000. So I could see the likes of Toyota Duet, Toyota Starlight, and those classes there. So I decided on Toyota Duet because it was looking so beautiful and small and nice and still, it looks classy in a way. So I saved and saved and saved. I think it took me in total 2 years. But believe you me, I was able to save 230,000. And this was the amount I bought with it, my first car. Toyota Duet. I still remember that car and I feel so much loved. Every time I see a Toyota Duet on the road, I feel so proud of myself, and I still love that car to bits up to now. Okay, I later sold it, but that proved to me that with savings you can be able to buy anything you wish. So for today's topic, I want to show you how. Now later I came to learn about a book called The Richest Man in Babylon. I would recommend you read this book. It is around 120 pages, so this is a book you can read within 2 sittings or a week. But the knowledge you will acquire from this book is unmatched. So from that book, you will learn that out of, let's say, your in terms of percentages, your income is 100%. 10% should be to giving. You can decide if it's charity, if you will give to church, whomever you give, but make sure that 10% of it you will give. 10% you will use it on savings. It's called paying oneself. So you just tell yourself that a part of all I earn is mine to keep. A part of all I earn is mine to keep. So you save that 10%. And the other 10%, you use it for investing. But now here comes the challenge. Already, you're living higher than your budget. Okay? Here comes the challenge. You're already spending more than you earn. Like you have more month than the money. So you're wondering, now you're telling me about 10% savings, 10% investments, 10% giving. Where am I going to get all this money and still I have to pay my bills? So that's why I say, start with as little as you can. Don't give it a percentage. If, let's say, for example, you can only start with 500 because you have debts, you have bills to pay, and you feel that even the money you're getting is not enough. But out of that not enough, try to save something. If you analyze your month when you've sat down, you'll find that there are some expenses maybe you can cut. For example, if you've been eating maybe beef 3 times a week, you can decide I'm going to eat beef only 2 times or 1 time. That money, save it. Then you can also think of something else. Maybe you've been spending money on buying drinking water, and maybe if you boil, it's cheaper that way. So you can also cut on that amount. So any expense you'll be able to cut down on, combine that money, put it in a savings. Then the goal is to make sure that every month you increase with a certain percentage. Let's say, for example, you start with first 500. Next month, increase it to 550 or 600. With time, you'll form this as a habit and it will be very automatic. And the secret is, any income you get, first pay yourself. First, it's savings. Don't think of, oh, there's no this in the house, I have to buy this, I saw very nice this and this. No. First, deduct that money. Once you deduct that money, your psychology will tell you that you don't have that money. So there's no way you'll be willing to spend it. So you deduct it, put it in a savings account, and don't be concerned so much about how much interest will it earn and all that. Your objective is to first form a good habit of putting aside money which you won't use. You will find that this money will later come to help you so much. So when you're savings, there are objectives that you should have. You can save for emergency, you can save for investments, and you can save for a goal. Like I've talked today that I was saving towards a goal of something I wanted to buy. So try as much as possible not to mix these amounts. So for example, money for investments, there's something that's called money market funds. So you can be sending, and nowadays you find it's very easy to invest in money markets. You only use your mobile phone. There's a SSD which you will dial, and then you find that you're able to save directly. So for investment directly, let it go to the money market funds. And then for the emergency fund, this is money you want in case of any emergency. You can be able to access it very quickly. So such money you put in an account, but not your current account. You put in a savings account, but whereby if I need that money tomorrow, I can walk with my ID to the bank and request to withdraw the money, and I can withdraw it. So it's liquid money. Because a lot of people make this mistake. They say, oh, this money is just lying in the bank, I'm wasting it. Maybe I would buy a plot. Yeah, you know, the people say broti maguta maguta. So don't go for that, because it's your emergency fund. It's just in case of anything. Were you to lose your business, maybe by bahati mbaya it gets burned up, were you to lose your job, how can you survive for the next 6 months? You see? So save towards a dedicated emergency fund. It's wiser to start with 3 months. Calculate your expenses. How much do you use in a month? Then first save for 1 month. Then after the 1 month is enough, try to save for the second month, third month, like that, until you can save amount that can sustain you for a whole year without income and without any source of salary or whatsoever. The importance of this is you don't know about tomorrow, you know, but when you have this amount, it gives you that peace of mind. It gives you some security, and when you have security, you're able to even achieve more, to be more productive, you know. Then the other one is about a goal. We've spoken about it. Maybe you desire to buy a car. You may decide that, okay, your parents sacrificed themselves, so they didn't build a house back at home so as you could go to school. Such is a worthy investment. So you can save towards it and start building your parents' home after you've saved enough. It could be a goal like educating your siblings or your children. You want them to have a good future, so you start saving towards that as early as now. And then the other one we've said is for investment. There are many investments you can do. That one I won't dwell on that. I'm not an expert on that. Mine is for you to save the money. I always believe that when the money is there, the opportunity will knock. But maybe you'll get an opportunity and you don't have the money. What are you going to do? Yeah. So it's not so hard to save. It's just to make sure you start with something. I encourage my younger cousins to make sure they save 50 shillings or 100 shillings every month. Because even if you're not working, once in a while somebody will give you money. So make sure to save this amount, as little as it is. You're cultivating a good habit. And once this habit is formed, trust you me, your life will be good. So I started with very low income. I think my first job was being paid 8,000, but even then I still used to save. So you can do it no matter the income. Just adjust your lifestyle. If you're paying your rent more than whatever you're earning, or you've taken your child to a school which you cannot afford and that's why you cannot save, just adjust your lifestyle. People will talk, but at night they will sleep. So keep subscribing. Thank you so much for all those who've subscribed, and share with your friends and family. It has been me, Gladys, and it is a pleasure always to walk this journey with you. Bye bye.